back, friends, to Watch Closely. It's a weekly show where we take a closer look at the world of movies, television, and what's streaming. I am Jason. I am one of your esteemed hosts, and joining me as always is a man who knows sometimes the best way to solve your own problems is to help someone else. Ernie, are you there? Are you there? Oh my goodness.
Hello.
Oh, what happened? There we go.
I was just anticipating it for it to like go, oh, like I can't even see you again, but I guess.
There you are.
Hello. I am here, dude. I am here. Thank you guys for sticking with us during this technical difficulty. But my friend, Jace, how are you?
I'm good, dude. Welcome, everyone who's joining live. I appreciate you guys. If you guys have not subscribed to the Twitter or the YouTubes, dude, we are live on the Twitter and the YouTubes. I guess it's X now, but yeah, go check us out if you're not subscribed. I know it's a shameless plug, but how's your week been, bro?
Been great, dude. Thank you so much for asking, dude. I've been pretty good. I had a rough little time with this class. I have to like pick up a lot of slack. I got like a class added, and I had to audit it for whatever reason, and it took really long to get in. I literally just got into it, and so it's been like 2 weeks of the class already. So I'm just like catching up, and it's like a lot of stuff. But you know, I'm going. But I've had a great week. I think.
He's a grinder. He's a grinder.
Here and there, yeah, I grind. Well, you know, when it calls for it. Just kidding.
So we got a lot of. Oh, I'm good, bro. I feel like this week.
Are you good?
I'm pretty good. Yeah, dude. It's been a good week. I was gonna say last weekend we went to a stand-up. We saw Angela Reyes. Angela, what's her last name? She's got a hyphen name, Reyes, but she's a really funny stand-up. We saw her live, and it was a great show. It's funny. Real quick, we bought tickets. I just bought them like used, not used, but like, you know, secondhand off of like StubHub or something, and I had no idea where we were gonna sit. And so we got there kind of late, and I was thinking we're gonna be like way in the back, dude. The guy's like, well, "Let me see your tickets," and he walks us basically to the front, and like we could almost touch the stage. It was crazy.
Wow.
I was like, "Whoa, whoever gave us these tickets, thank you so much." But like it was a fun show.
Is that because you're part of the Watch Closely podcast? You got.
I was like, I didn't want her because, you know, sometimes they do crowd work, right? So I was hoping like, oh, don't recognize me.
No, definitely. If I was there, just like if I was at the cruise, I'd make a scene. I'd run to you. Oh my gosh, are you him? Are you him?
Jump in the air. We do the chest pump.
What if like they had recognized you and like, you know, you're big Watch Closely podcaster.
I am tall.
And then the lady Angela Bassett or whatever her name was. Angela Bassett, you know who that is?
Who is Angela Bassett?
She's from Wakanda Forever. She's the mom.
Oh,
Angela, but whatever. I just wanted to say that.
Angela Johnson was her name. This one, Angela Johnson Reyes, or maybe she's not Reyes anymore. I don't know, but she just had her first child at age 41, bro. It's pretty sweet. That was her little baby right there. But she does a great set. She's like a pretty clean comic. And super funny. I enjoyed it.
No, I don't like that. I want her to be dirty.
Little shout out. Ernie's like, I don't want to watch.
I don't like clean comedy. Not just dirty. But I like that. I like that you said that. I don't think I've ever seen anything clean.
She does this bit where she gets to like a nail salon. Like that's one that she's famous for. I think she might have been on like Mad TV or something a while back too. But she's been on like movies and stuff too. But
she looks familiar to me, but I don't know from where.
Yeah, I'll have to look at it where she.
Let me finish my story, dude. What if like
go ahead.
You had, you know, they saw you and they're like, oh, that's the guy from Watch Closely. You know, bring him up on stage, bring him up, and then you gotta go up, dude, and do a little podcast, dude, with the little show notes. What do you think?
And I'd be like, "Hello, everyone." No, I'd have to do your hello, right? I have to do the famous.
You just have to Zoom call me.
Yeah. And then I'd be like, guys, because this is really why you guys tune in for this guy. I know it.
I tune in for Jason.
Nah,
I tune in for Angela Bassett or whatever that lady's name is. But dude, please, Jace, tell me one thing, please.
Tell us.
Did you end up going to watch One Love? I actually mean to ask you.
No, we didn't watch it. We're gonna probably watch it next week, I'm hoping. I'm still really like curious to watch it. It's we're gonna talk about the numbers right here. We're gonna jump
I
into
know.
the numbers. It's doing pretty well. But go ahead.
I want to ask you this question. I had heard, now this I heard from through the grapevine. Now I might be mistaken my little pig with a side of bacon here, but I had heard that you liked Madam Web so much you saw it twice.
I think I see the future, and I think you're gonna watch it twice. And she does that weird like lip bite thing, and I was like, oh my gosh.
It's like she's like horned up, but she's not.
Yeah, I think she probably had the funnest. Well, we'll get into Madam Web. There's a little bit of a controversy that I don't think we talked about last time, but I know you saw Madam Web, and I'm really curious to get your thoughts. Do you want to do like a brief little rundown before we jump into the numbers?
Yeah, we can definitely. I mean, oh wow, hey, whoa, I'm on stage here. That's pretty wild. So yeah, I did watch the movie. I saw it with my wife. I think I saw it the day that you had gone to go to the comedy show, if I'm not mistaken. So
maybe.
whenever you were over there, you're laughing at the clean comedy. I was over here laughing at the Marvel comedy. Just kidding. No.
Ironic comedy, the unexpected comedy.
Yeah. So I mean, I think. Well, I don't know if I should say this because I don't know if it's actually going to happen or not. But front of the cast, Lexman Express 92. He's set to return, right? He said he's I'm returning, I'm coming back. But he keeps he'll say this thing where, and I know he's gonna get mad at me, but he'll say, I want to come back, but I don't know if I'm gonna come back, but I'm gonna come back. And I'm like, what does that even mean? Are you coming or not? So I think he's coming back.
He sounds like Robert Downey Jr. He's gonna come back for Iron Man or what? Come on,
I don't know.
Come on, Robert.
We don't know. We need him back. I think he said we need to get on our knees and tell him we love him to get him back. That's what he said.
Tell me you're on your knees, you love me.
No, but
right.
So I wanted to do a review with him. I think if he does come next week, he wants to all three of us be together and talk about it. So we'll probably talk about it more in depth when that happens. But I'll just go brief. Dude, I watched the movie and I knew what I was gonna get watching it. And I told my wife, I was clapping because I was just in the mood to clap. And I told my wife, I was like, I don't think the movie was that terrible. It wasn't the worst thing I've seen. I've seen things that are worse than that, but I think because it has the name of Marvel, I think it ups the ante of why it's so bad. You know what I mean? It outdid Morbius, and Morbius was pretty bad to people, but I liked Morbius. I thought it was cool. You can go watch my review. I thought it was okay. It wasn't the best thing out there, but it was okay. Madam Web, I had fun watching it. Don't get me wrong. There was moments of how did she go to Peru in a day and do all this stuff? Why does she always have still that taxi? How has she not been caught?
Why does she keep constantly stealing cars? Yeah,
exactly. It's she's so disinterested in these kids and helping people. Obviously, she helps them, right? But why become an EMT?
Right. Why is she an EMT?
Why are you in the health industry? There's a lot of questions, but there's a lot of cool things, or at least for me, I thought was pretty cool. I really liked the Dark Spider-Man dude or whatever he was, the arañas negras, that guy. But he kept saying I had to work for this. He says it twice, and I'm like, okay, dude, I know you had to work for this. Relax.
Did you like the part where he's like, I stole this technology for you. Use it better.
That's what I tell. That's the exact thing I tell Jason when I write the show notes. I go, I wrote these show notes for you. Use them better.
Right.
No, but
use these better.
So apparently they messed around with his voice, right? Is the big thing.
Yeah, most of it was ADR, right? It was all added later, post
I wasn't aware.
He looked like he was speaking a different language, right? And then they dubbed over him in English. Because his lips were not matching for most of the movie.
I noticed something was off. Even me and my wife were like, "What? I don't like the way that guy talks." We had said, and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that dude. He just sounds like he doesn't fit." But then again, you hear some of the line deliverances in the movie, and they all don't seem like they really fit. Don't get me wrong. I think Sydney Sweeney and some of the girls. The other two girls, I forget their name, but the other spider gals, I thought they did a good job. I enjoyed what they were trying to be because they were kids, right? But yeah, I don't know. Some of the lines were just kind of weird. It just felt they're like, okay, that's good enough. Let's move on. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like like they kept giving her directions to like fix that way she like delivered that line. But I don't know. But like, yeah, I like that the Spider-Man, like him chasing them. I thought that was really cool. Don't get me wrong. I know we got like Venom, and he's kind of like that. Like he's like a predator, right? He's like hunting Spider-Man or whatever. But there was something about this guy being this regular kind of Spider-Man that just really worked for me. I harken it back to like Taskmaster in the Black Widow movie. I really liked the way that played off on the scenes, like where she's chasing them. And I mean, obviously, we don't know at the time who Taskmaster is. And I think not knowing was so much better than actually knowing who it ended up becoming. Personally, I think that. But it worked. It was like pretty cool. I was like, man, this is so dope. Like an evil Spider-Man. It's like the same reason I like seeing an evil Superman. I know that's controversial. A lot of people don't like seeing Superman evil. But sometimes it's cool because all we see is him all we see of that character is that he's, cool, and seeing him have flaws because he's not perfect is interesting to see. But don't get me wrong, he has his flaws. I think if you read Superman American something, I forget what it's called out of the top of my head, but in that book or in that comic, they add a little bit more flaws to the character in terms of like his growth. But there's neither here nor there. But yeah, dude. I asked my wife, because I told her this after I watched it. She told me that was really bad. My wife isn't, even like the crappiest thing, she'll be like, oh, that was okay. She doesn't really give it a harsh answer. But this time she told me, she's like, this movie was not good. And I'm like, why? And I'm like, I enjoyed it. I really liked that movie. And I'll be honest with you. I'm not even trying to go against the grain. Like, I'm not trying to, like, be, because I really don't care. Like, this is my opinion. It's not like I'm saying this to be like, oh, I'm trying to be the opposite choice of whatever you hated the movie. No, I don't care. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, right? But I thought it was okay. Like, it was good to me. Like, I enjoyed it. Wasn't great. And I knew you guys were making fun of that,
This
too.
is exactly what we wanted.
This is exactly what you guys were going to say. And I asked, so the reason I was talking about my wife was I asked her, I'm like, why do I like this? Like, why did I enjoy it? Like, why did I enjoy it? She's like, because you like those cheesy ass movies. Like, I like cheesy ass movies. Like, I watch Hallmark movies and I enjoy them. Now, I think I just have bad taste. I honestly, I think I have bad taste in movies, and I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, 'cause I watched it and I know it was terrible. I can't see what was going on. I was laughing. I clapped. I cried. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Dude, I left with a smile on my face, and that's important.
I did. I left like smiling going down because the last scene
I was gonna say
was incredible, dude. It was awesome, dude. I have you won't pull up the picture, but
I don't want to spoil it. Are you gonna pull it up? Oh no, we lost him. Connection. No connection. Dude, that's so funny. He basically let me tell you what happened basically while he was gone. He might recap this, but this guy, he took the last final shot of her face when she's like, I don't want to spoil it, but the end comes and there's a funny shot. He took it and he cut it out and made it like a sticker. So now in the group chats, you just see he like Madam Webs things. Like we'll say something in like the chat and he'll just like Madam Web it. It's crazy, bro. Oh my gosh. Well, while Ernie's reconnecting, I wanted to get a little bit of conspiracy, I suppose. A little bit of rumor floating out there. Let me see if I can add this to the scene here real quick. So there was this article in the Hollywood Reporter, and it was, what did Dakota Johnson actually say? Now, the Madam Web, so this is what happened. So Madam Web press tour became a tangled web of conspiracy theories and misconstructed quotes to create a narrative Johnson hated her own movie. Now, there's a little bit to this, but I feel like Hollywood Reporter always puts like a good like polish on things. They always try to keep a positive outlook on like movies, and like they don't usually drag things through the mud. So take this with a grain of salt. But what was happening was, in all her interviews, she seemed very like apathetic about the whole thing, right? She was just kind of like, I mean, it's not part of the Spider-Man universe. It's not really connected. Let's just read some of the article. It says, um, let's see. When the press tour for Madam Web began at the start of the year, a lead actress Dakota Johnson was placed under such scrutiny that it became an absurd tale of how clicks and engagement are farmed. One of the examples was a quote she gave in Entertainment Weekly about working in front of a blue screen, in which she said, "I've never really done a movie where you are on a blue screen and there's fake explosions going off and someone's going explosion and you act like there's an explosion." And that's, to me, is absolutely psychotic. She says, I like it. I don't know if it's going to be good at all. I hope that I did it an okay job, but I trusted director S.J. Clarkson, and she worked hard, and she's not taken her eyes off the movie since we started. And then immediately websites just started running like headlines and saying, Dakota Johnson doubts Madam Web will be any good, or Dakota Johnson is making Madam Web absolutely she says making Madam Web was absolutely psychotic, so taking it, blowing it out of proportion. But the thing I wanted to so the thing that I think is Hollywood Reporter being a little nice about it, because it's true, like when you watch Ernie's back, he's back.
I've been back. Can I tell you something?
Go ahead,
so
man.
For me, I never lost connection. I was still here.
Oh, really?
And it said you were wrong. You were syncing or whatever. And
Nice.
I was having a conversation about, because I'm like, oh, Jason's gone. So I was like having the rest of the conversation that I was having by myself.
Oh man, I hope we have footage of this.
I don't know. I
Hopefully.
don't even know if that is going to exist. That is so awesome because I was just there in limbo, basically. So I'm like, you know what's going on? I don't know what the heck is going on. Let me reload. And I reloaded. And here I am.
And then you came back.
Ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen. I am back, dude. I don't even remember what the last thing I was saying. Something about the ending. And then what I was looking for was a picture of Madam Web that I wanted to post in the show notes. And
Well, I told him that you took that last picture of her face and you turned it into a sticker, and you've been throwing it on the text messages,
dude.
which I love.
Dude, it's probably one of my favorite pictures. I ended up putting it on my as a picture on my TikTok.
That's like his profile
There it
picture
is.
now.
Go look.
Yeah, go find him on
Go
TikTok.
look at the notes. Go look at the notes. just the beginning. Just the.
Okay.
Just the.
Well, I don't want. Yeah, just leave it out of context because we don't want to spoil it. But that's what
I won't.
that's what he
spoil
cut
it, but
out.
That is so awesome, man. Oh man, I was dying when I saw that, dude.
It's so good, bro. Let me finish this real quick
finish it,
before we move back into like our reviews. But like the thing I thought was really interesting, because if you do watch her interviews, she does seem very like, I don't know, like it might be good. I don't know if it's gonna be good. Like it, but the thing, like she always would say like, well, it's not connected to the Spider-Man universe. It's not any universe. Like she seems like she was like tasked with selling it. But here's the thing that was in this article that I thought was really interesting was that, but of course the narrative had spun too far out of control for any logic now, and it had been decided that by not a significant amount of online voices, Dakota Johnson was being forced to promote a movie that she hated. And then it said, one that inevitably would ruin her perfect filmography. Her changing agencies from WME to CCA a week after the Madam Web trailer dropped in November was now being said to have raised eyebrows, drawing speculation that she was so embarrassed by the movie that she had changed agencies. Now, I think personally that's why she changed agencies, because when she was promoting this movie, people saw in the Twitter that she had added Marvel Studios instead of Marvel, Marvel Entertainment or whatever. And so I think it's very possible that she went into this movie thinking it was a Marvel proper movie. Like this was going to be connected to the bigger universe. And when the trailer dropped and she realizes, okay, wait, this is just like a Sony one-off. Like this is not part of the good universe. I think that's why people are probably like, yeah, you're going to be in a Marvel movie. You're going to be in a Marvel movie. And then it finds out it's actually a Sony movie.
I agree with you. I kind of feel like that's probably what happened, but also like you got to see this from the grand scale of things. Like, okay, yeah, it's not a Marvel Studios movie, but I don't
Mm.
think they brought this out thinking, man, let's bring out crap. Let's make sure this movie doesn't do well. Like, I honestly believe that just they're not doing a great job. They're not executing their films as well as they can.
Mm.
And I think, I mean, we always blame like the writers, directors, but for the most part, it's not really them. It's most likely the companies who are like, well, we need it to be like this. We need you to add this. We need you to, you know what I mean? They change the scripts. I think I had heard there was tons of rewrites for this particular film. But also, like, I'm like going back to
Yeah, they end up
my what I was
spending
trying to say was
way too much.
is
Yeah,
like
go
if
ahead.
this movie had done really well, it could have possibly been part of the Marvel universe, or you know what I mean, the one we know of, like the Tom Holland and all that stuff. But obviously, it didn't. Like you see that with Morbius, right? Morbius was supposed to be a lot better than it was, and they added the Vulture, right? And that's Tom Holland's universe. But now they're gonna claim that it's part of a different universe. You know what I mean? It's its own thing. Like that's the thing about like which I really don't like, and I hate that they went this way with Marvel. Is that now they open the door for multiple universes, which is a cool concept when done right. But because they did that, they're able to be like, "Whoa, this movie didn't do well, so that's part of the Earth 95." You know what I mean? Like, let's throw it over there. Like, where it's like there's no
I mean, yeah,
accountability. There's no accountability to it. Like, they literally are able to just throw it in the trash, and then, but well, we have the mainline one over here. You
right.
know what I
Because we were
mean?
talking about, was it last cast we were saying like there was supposed to be post credit scenes, like two post credit scenes, and they ended up cutting them because they were like, well, no, let's just make this a one off. Like this is not testing well. It probably is not going to do that well in the box office. But it did really bad in the box office. We'll get to the numbers, but I honestly think that the reason why this movie was not that great was because they were purely making this to keep the rights. Because if you don't make a movie with those characters, like it's in the contract, right? If you don't make it within a certain amount of time, the rights will automatically revert back to Marvel, and they want to keep that. Like that's Spider-Man is a huge property for them, and if they don't do something Spider-Man related to satisfy those rights, it's gonna end up reverting back to Marvel. And I think that led to, let's just get a movie out there. Let's find a random side character. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Craven, right? Because Craven, I thought the trailer looked good. I thought the Craven the Hunter trailer looks like it's going to be decent. I don't really like the direction they're going with the anti-heroes and like all that stuff, but like visually, like it looks like better than Madam Web. So I'm curious to see what happens with that one, if because it could be just another one of those. It gives me much less faith in that Craven movie now. Like, I don't, but yeah, getting back into your final thoughts, bro. What any other thoughts about that?
Well, so many final thoughts. I think they had something here, but I just don't think it was well executed. I think they somehow fixed this movie in a way that just wasn't manageable in terms of like the characters and the way the story could go. And I feel like I feel like they had the actors. I mean, don't get me wrong; they're not the most highest caliber actors. You know, they're not like, oh, this is Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they're not like that, but they're good actors, right? And you could see it. Like Sydney Sweeney is good in the movie. Like, she's not terrible. I forget the other. Sorry, out of the top of my head, like Isabella Merced, Dakota Johnson, Celeste O'Connor, freaking Adam Scott, Emma Roberts was all right. I mean, she wasn't really there as much, but like they were there, right? And they were able to build upon the characterization had they been given a better script in terms of like being able to, you know, just work with each other, if that makes sense. I love that. I love when you mess up and you put your face really big. That's my favorite thing. But like for the most part, there were some cool things there. Like I was saying, like the evil Spider-Man, right? That's what we're gonna call him, the Araña Negra, dude. Him and freaking like coming at them was it was cool. But that villain he's dumb. Like he had
Super dumb.
no. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was agreeing with you. Super dumb. He what did he do? He he slept with a CIA agent to like steal her key card to like find a code, and then she just oh yeah, he poisons her, and then at the very like as she's dying, she just happens to ramble off the exact code, and
no, he's telling her the code, and he's like, I'll reverse I'll reverse the death, or I mean the poison, right? And then she's like, all right, I'll give it to you, and she's like 5 whatever, and I'm like, she should have just gave him the wrong code.
Right, like, he's killing her. Like, why not? Like,
why not? Yeah,
over?
Might as well.
Yeah.
Like, but again, I don't know. Whatever. It's just really odd. But he like,
There's a lot of funny.
He goes. I guess the spider powers gave him the power of seduction because he was able to.
She had the power to reverse time, and he had the power to seduce.
Yeah, dude, that's wild, dude. I'm surprised. Did roles reverse? Imagine Dakota Johnson had it. She would have been like, "You're gonna watch it twice."
It would have been a much better
Bite
movie.
slip. It would have probably been a different movie. It probably wouldn't have been in theaters. It probably would have been on Pornhub.
Yeah, it's true. It would have been a completely different. Dude, my final thoughts, I would say it was super, super cheesy. This was super corny. I thought they wasted a lot of great talent. Like, they had a good cast setup and they did nothing with them. I thought that if they're going to keep going down this road of like cheesy writing, poorly written movies, they need to really lean into it, like hard, like as you always say, like hard. Like, they need to make it so cheesy that it's self-aware of how cheesy it is, and it needs to just have fun with it and be like, okay, this is super goofball, kind of like, you know, how the old Evil Deads, right? Like, they were super self-aware and they just like leaned into that cheesy popcorn factor and just had fun with it. I think there's there's definitely an audience for that, and it becomes like a cult classic, right? But right,
I don't think this movie is gonna be a cult classic. It isn't. Not even Morbius. I know.
No, not
was
these.
Like making
they didn't go hard enough. They need to go harder. Yeah.
But that's the thing is, like, had they gone that hard and made it a comedy, like straight up Thor Ragnarok, you know what I mean? Like,
no, don't make it a comedy. Make it an unintentionally hilarious movie, right? Like, you're self-aware that this is so bad that it becomes good. This was like on the edge, right? Where this was just bad. It wasn't so bad that it was good. It was just like bad. Like, this could have been a lot better. But there are certain movies that become cult classics because they're just, they have no idea how bad that, like, when you watch it, you're just like, oh my gosh, this is bad, and I want to tell people about it. I like, go watch this movie. It's so hilarious.
But that's the thing. It's like that goes back to it. It's like you're able to tell. Like okay, I would tell you this movie is not great, but it's definitely worth a watch. Like, you need to watch it for yourself to understand why people are talking about it the way they are. Like, there is no way of me explaining, or you going to look at reviews of people telling you, like, because most reviews are like, this was awful. Like, they're really wholeheartedly hate this film. You know what I mean? And I know there was this one guy who was like, like, I forget what he says, but he's like, you don't know how hard it is to make a movie. I've made a movie. And he's like,
Chris Stuckman. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I didn't watch his thing. I just saw a little clip of it because I was like, I really don't care what he says. Not because I don't like the guy. He does great reviews, but I just don't want to watch the review for the movie. I want to watch the movie myself. But I saw him just say that, and I'm like, he's right. But also, like, nobody cares to see that. Like, people want to hear, like, people talk crap about the movie because the internet, you know, quote unquote, doesn't like this film. Like, most people are hating it, and that's the majority rule right now, right? I mean, again, I had just given you my opinion. I didn't hate it, but I thought it was okay. Like, I enjoyed it somewhat. Like, there was like good moments, but it was covered in a bunch of crap. Sorry, that sounds funny, but you know what I mean? Like, there was just like it fell short, and that's terrible. You know, because again, like, we want movies to be great, and like you said, now that you mentioned that, which is funny, is because they had the rights, they had to make something Spider-Man, and you know, they kind of just brought this out to die, is what you're making it sound like. Which,
I mean, they could have made a great movie. I don't understand why they had the recipe, right? The recipe was there, good cast. They had, Madam Web is she's a well written character in the comics. They could have taken any of her stories. I think Dakota Johnson was probably miscast because they should have just gone with like an older. And the fact that they couldn't mention anything Spider-Man was so weird, right? Like it went completely over my head, all the references that I didn't know till after I got online and people were talking about them.
I mean, that's funny because I had told you going to watch the film, I didn't watch anything, like no clips,
right?
No, nothing really. It was just like, here and there people talking crap or whatever, and I'm like, this makes me want to watch it more. But
that's what I heard. Some other people say have the exact same reaction, right? Like people are saying it's so bad. I feel like I need to watch this now. But that's what Sony needs to lean into if they're gonna keep going down this road. Make it that viral where it's like it's so bad, people need to go see it. And
see, that's the thing. Like, as a company, like you don't want to do that. It's like if Apple,
but if they're
out,
just making it just to keep the rights, why not? Like, just do it.
I get what you mean.
It's gonna get people in the seats. Yeah,
it's like if Apple brought out the new iOS whatever freaking update, and they're like, it's a little wonky, but it's here. Dun-dun-dun. Like nobody's gonna want to hear that. Like their stock is gonna drop. You know what I mean? Like you're bringing out a poopy product. Like it doesn't make sense to do something like that.
But I feel like they're already getting that reputation with these subpar movies, right? Like they need to.
But that's the thing is, like, do you think that they're trying to do that? Like, I don't think.
I think they just
apparently as Sony is like, oh, here's a few grand, go make me a crap movie so I can bring it out. Like, I don't think that's the case. That would be really stupid of them.
I think that's the case.
Is it really?
Like,
that's it's like let's ruin Marvel's best character. Spider-Man, you know what I mean? They're the real villains, is Sony, and they're like, I'm gonna get you, Spider-Man. That's how. I don't think that's the case. It wouldn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
But like, because, what other explanation is it for why it is so bad? That's what I want to know. Like,
that's because they're trying to please a certain crowd of people. I think they're trying to make movie. I don't know. You got to ask them. Like, we're not insiders, right?
They're not listening to the audience.
Let me tell you, go ahead. Jace. Sorry, we are not the insiders. We are not the people that go or whatever. Like those dudes that yell. Yeah. Like we're not yelling at reactions and going to the red carpet, seeing Dakota Johnson, asking her stupid questions. We're not those people. Not yet, at least.
Yeah. And I don't think, like, the actors...
So how do we know?
I don't think the actors or the filmmakers intended to go in and make a bad movie, right? Like Chris Stuckman says, right? Like, it always takes a lot of people coordinating, coming together. And I think there's some guy on TikTok, I apologize, but he always says, it's short of a couple miracles, right, to get a movie made. Like just any movie made. So I agree.
A lot of
movie
parts. I agree.
There's a ton of moving parts, and I've been on sets. I've helped out with edits and stuff like that. So I know the process. But this had such bad editing. This had such bad writing. This had such bad direction. Like everything seemed like it was just like get it out the door. Like we don't care from the production side of it, not from the actors and the cast and like. That was completely different, but I think that's why I honestly think that Dakota Johnson was mad at her agency. Was like, why did you convince me to take this role when I can clearly see the quality of this trailer is going to be a terrible movie, right? Like don't give me any more of these, because she had already built up quite a collage of movies, for a certain type of film. Like she does really well. I mean,
honestly, I was surprised that she took the role when I had found out that it was her. I was like, random for her to be that person or this particular person. Like, I don't have a vast knowledge of Madam Web. I only know from the cartoons, right? Like, that's how I know the character. So, that being my only reference, I was able to, pick up what they were trying to create here. But, like, you're right. Like, there's, like, these things that were just done that just kind of, like, makes it hard to like the character. Like we said before, like, okay, yeah, we get it. Like, she's an EMT, but she doesn't want to help people. Like,
why don't you like saving lives when your job is saving lives?
When your job is saving lives, it doesn't make sense. And it's like, oh, I have mommy issues. She left me. All right.
Right. Oh my gosh, I know. Like how all of them like happen to have this exact same kind of backgrounds. Well, I don't know. We can get into spoilers.
Well, hey.
Yeah.
You're talking about the web and how they're
It's a tangled web.
They're entangled web.
Oh, we got McFly saying hello, dude.
Well, that's
this guy
the
knows.
friend of the cast. Hello.
Hey, so I guess we should move on to look at my giant face. Let's talk about the numbers because the numbers, sadly we do have to talk about what actually happened. So if we look at let's go to the daily charts on the numbers and see. So Bob Marley is still at the top at number 1 with 56 million, and Madam Web. They both open the same day, but the Madam Web only has 28 million. Still at number 2. Argyle as at number 3. Migration's at number 4. The Chosen season 4. I think it's episodes. What is it? 4 and 6. That one's at number 5. Wonka, dude. Wonka's at $211 million, bro. That movie just keeps on going.
I told you, dude. I told you it's a great movie.
And it's on, dude. What is it? Next week, 2 weeks from now, we're gonna have Dune, and so we're gonna have double, not the Wonka, but what's the guy's name? Chalamet. Double the Timothy Chalamet. Yeah. I can't believe that Wonka came out in like the December, right?
I think it came out in
mid-December.
Right?
And it's still in theaters, bro. Like this has been such a dry spell.
And I think it's like digital, right?
Yeah, you can rent it or you can buy it right now.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think the Dune 2 reviews are out for the people that watched it early, right?
Yeah,
and it's getting some pretty great reviews. I had seen someone had recorded a clip and he sings a song, Timothy Chalamet. I don't know if you saw that. Did you see that?
He sings a song?
Yeah, he said. I'm just kidding. I was gonna say, and there's chocolate, and there's chocolate. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
And it's coarse, and it gets everywhere. Beekeeper's at number 7. Lisa Frankenstein, which I think is a new. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's been out for 13 days.
Lisa Frankenstein is the film that's directed by Robin Williams' daughter, right? Zelda Williams.
I think so. I think you're right. Yeah.
I think I am, but I didn't even know that was out.
Yeah,
until you.
I don't know if it's a wide release or, but it's
podcasts ago.
So number 8, Anyone But You is also chugging along at number 9, and then Poor Things is at number 10. And I think everything else is pretty much like business as usual. I think next week it's going to be interesting because I think the first early showings of Dune are coming out Sunday. We're supposed to go watch it on Sunday if my wife wants to watch it, but we'll see. I'm excited for it, dude. I can't believe the re-release of Dune. Like, people are going to the theaters, right? For just like the original Dune.
I didn't even know it was out to go watch. That's freaking awesome. We missed it, right? Because of the pandemic.
Yeah, we ended up watching it from HBO Max because they just dropped it day and date.
Yeah,
right.
I missed that. But I remember you had brought your projector, right? And we got some speakers, and we were watching it, right?
Yeah, I think I really enjoyed it. I'm not sure if you enjoyed it as much, but it says that I think it made like 60 something million at the box office. It says despite being available to stream at home, Dune was a box office hit at it grossed $108 million domestically and $402 million worldwide. Wow. I think it's gonna do good, dude. I think the second Dune is gonna do a lot better than the first one. I mean, obviously, but like, I think as far as popularity, a lot more people are gonna watch it. I'm excited, dude. I'm getting a little hyped for it, to be honest. How about you? Are you excited to watch it?
I'm really excited. I definitely want to check it out. My wife wants to watch the first one before we go see the second one, so I'm pretty excited
in
about
the theater.
No, I think we're gonna watch it at home. I don't think it's out in theaters still, is it? The first one?
Yeah, you can still watch it in theaters.
You still go watch it. I have not even seen that on my A list, but on my A list on my AMC app. I got to double check, but she said she wanted to watch it at home. I don't think we need to go anywhere because I'm just gonna put on the surround system, or I mean my my what's it called? That big
Put on a
old,
surround system and watch it on your laptop.
no. I know, right? Put on a really loud. No, what's that thing that I have? The freaking I forget the
Soundbar?
the thank you. Why I couldn't think of the darn name. But the sound bar. I'm gonna put the sound bar really loud, and I'm just gonna and I'm gonna get my Dune popcorn bucket
Oh, there you go.
with the
That's
worm
what
with
you
the
gotta do.
Shaila food or whatever it's called, Shailud or whatever. You know, talk about the worm's name.
Is Worms a Shiloh? Show me.
Yeah. The name of the sandworm is Shai-Hulud or something like that.
Shihalud. Oh,
Shaiaihulud.
Shihalud. Oh, Shihalud Dune is the indigenous name of the giant worm-like creatures in the Dune novel.
Yeah.
Shihalud. I didn't know they were named.
Yeah, so that's your little popcorn bucket. I'm hoping that you go in front of the cast, your wife buys me the popcorn bucket. She's like, "Oh, Randy, I'll get it for you." I don't know why I made her voice sound like that. Made her sound like Mark Simpson for whatever reason. But I hope you guys go and get one because I feel like it's such a cool thing. He
Not
said,
the
"No,
Dune
not the Dune popcorn bucket."
That's awesome. Hey, you know, we got to get that bucket. We got to get it.
I'm telling you, it's going to be a collector's item. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know if you remember where I was talking about with friend of the cast Lex, but do you remember the toys from what's it? The Wild Wild West movie at Burger King. You can pay an extra $5 and they would give you the glasses of like Will Smith or the other dude. I forget the other guy's name. Do you remember this?
I don't remember this.
Oh man, that's so sad that you don't remember that. Look that up, dude. Look up Wild Wild West. Put it, not you, on the big screen. Wild Wild West, and then put Burger King toys. Oh, I'm so excited for this so you can see. It's already. Yeah, look at this. Look at the glasses. There they are.
Oh wait, where's the glasses?
Oh, up top. You missed it.
Oh, these ones.
Sunglasses. Yeah.
These ones? You got these at Burger King?
Yeah, I had the.
Oh, that's awesome.
I had the
1999, bro.
I had the one, not the Will Smith ones, but the other guy. I had those glasses, and I still had the case too. I had the case for the longest time, and what I ended up doing, I lost the glasses, but I would use that case to carry like. Dude, I've always done this. I still do this, which is really dumb. I should just get a tool case. But to carry my tools, I would use that little box, dude. Like little screwdriver and all that, dude. Oh my!
That's awesome.
gosh.
I didn't know they gave out like full on like glasses and a
well,
case.
no, they didn't. They didn't give them out. You had to buy them. Like they were like an extra.
Oh, it was like an
$5
add-on
or something. Yeah, you had to pay for them.
Okay, I was like, man.
Or at
we,
least
like,
I remember it being that.
Now we get these little plastic toys. This is not the Wild Wild West.
Those are just the big kids' meal, dude.
Oh look! Oh!
Look, there they are. See, because they can't see each other and they want to shoot each other. So
that's too bright, and so they gotta wear the glasses. That's funny. It's like, but new Will Smith and oh, there we go. Oh, did they say how much they are? I'm really curious. $1.99, bro, for a pair of glasses like that.
I thought it was $5. Wow, that's real cheap. But dude, I remember
priceless.
That is, dude. I gotta watch Wild Wild West. I actually really like that movie. See, I like terrible movies. I think that's just me, dude. In that movie, I don't know if you recall correctly. See, he remembers. McFly remembers. He probably has them still. In that movie, Wild Wild West, I don't know if you remember, but one of the characters, he has he has like, I don't know what it is. It's like this like horn looking thing, like a spout in his ear, and he'll like in one of the clips, he like turns it and all the earwax falls out. Do you recall this?
Yeah, it's like it's supposed to be able to hear him better, right? And then he tilts it down and it empties.
That's disgusting. It's so disgusting. But I always think about that because I'm like, man, sometimes you have earwax and you want one of those things. You know what I mean?
I mean, sometimes, yeah. Okay, we got to get into this bit of news, Ernie, because I know you have a soft spot for this. Let's just jump into it real quick. So, it says Disney's entered into a strategic agreement with Sony Pictures Entertainment for the latter to take over the manufacturing, distribution, and marketing of Disney's DVDs, Blu-ray discs, and other physical media formats. This partnership encompasses all of Disney's new releases as well as the extensive catalog titles, with the operating focuses on U.S. and Canada markets. While Disney remains While Disney maintains control over the digital media offerings, the move to outsource physical media production is an indicator of broad industry trends, particularly ongoing shift towards digital and streaming. So we talked about this a couple casts ago, but this is news because we didn't hear this Sony agreement with Disney. Ernie, do you have other thoughts on this, or like what do you think?
I mean, this is kind of cool, because they're trying to keep the physical media alive, and I know a lot of people are definitely trying to, keep it alive. It's not like a dying art, but it's definitely not headed towards like where people are gonna have physical media everywhere. Like it's gonna become more of a man, what's the word I'm looking for? A commodity more so than actually need. You don't need it, you just want it, right? Like I don't think it's gonna be a big seller anymore. Like I was talking in front of the cast, Lex, and I was telling him like, when is the last time you put two movies side by side, comparing a 4K Blu-ray disc to a streaming 4K movie? You know what I mean? Like there's a big difference.
Oh yeah.
But like to our eyes that we've watched just streaming for such a long time, there's no difference, so we don't even care anymore. Like I have the Blu-ray copy or the 4K Blu-ray copy of Lord of the Rings, and I know we talked about they up-resed here and there. I was watching it recently, and I had the luxury of being able to put it side by side, and I have pretty good internet, and so I have I have a stable connection. I know that I'm getting the best possible 4K streaming version of it, and I did it, and I wanted to see, and I was like, man, I could tell the difference. Like I could tell, like you could see it, but like for the most part, people don't really care, and this is gonna become a thing where it's gonna be like. There's this thing that's called limited run games. They do it for video games that only come out digital, but they basically package a physical copy of that game, and they put like artwork and all that cool stuff to it, and it's a really cool website if you want to buy like some games. You see, I think he's showing images right now. They have like Star Wars,
Star Wars Limited Run. Knights of the Old Republic has one.
Yeah, so they have a few of them, but so like I think they're gonna do that, but with like probably with movies, like it's gonna become more of a premium package than just a regular DVD that people bought. But I do want to say this one thing because I was looking into this. I was reading more about it, and the one thing people aren't really talking about because it hasn't been said, but because this is happening. Whoever the distributors and or like people who handle that sort of stuff for the movies for Disney, there might be a big layoff with Disney because they're outsourcing that work. Sony already has their own people, and a lot of people aren't really like mentioning. I know right here, in the Variety article they mentioned, they're outsourcing all that stuff, but like they say it's unclear if the layoffs at Disney are going to happen, but like. Most likely it's going to happen, right? It says
that's a whole division, I'm sure,
but
right?
It's a whole thing. It's like, what else are they going to do? Unless they change their job description into something else, which I doubt it. I mean, it's going to probably cost them less to outsource than to keep it part of the company, which sucks to say, but that's just probably what's going to end up happening.
Dude, remember was it 2 episodes ago, we were talking about physical media, and I was saying, like, I think now is the time to, like, buy like your high quality UHD 4K copies, and I was like, there's not 8K is like going to be too high or whatever. But then I thought about the Apple Vision Pro, bro. Like the Apple Vision has basically 2 8K monitors for each eye, and so like that might be the limit. That might be the and it made me think because one of my coworkers went to go watch or do a demo of it, and I really want to go do a demo as well. I'm curious to see how it is, but imagine if you could watch 8K for both eyes of like your favorite show or favorite movie, bro.
I might be mistaken. My little pig was out of bacon here, but doesn't your like to watch like 4K and or 8K, you need a bigger real estate of TV.
You're like, how did they cram so many pixels?
Yeah, no, I know. Just like but you get what I mean, right? It's like when you watch a 4K movie, you need and depending on the size, you need to have it above 40 inches to actually see a 4K movie, right? Or am I wrong? And then
it just depends on the pixel density, I think. Like if you can pack that
Okay.
many pixels.
So yeah, I don't know. I didn't know that. Yeah, because like when you sit in front of a TV, like your 4K movie, you need to sit a certain distance for you to be able to see it at its most optimal like viewing option, right?
Yeah.
200 microns.
Sorry, I was trying to figure out what's the actual resolution of like the human eye. It says our eyes 16K, maybe. But people trying on those Apple Vision Pro things say it's like pretty lifelike. There's a lot of.
Dude, I know. I want to try it out, man.
I think you should.
I honestly was hoping you were gonna get one.
Yeah, right.
Like you
I'll
screwed
get
up,
like
dude. You bought like
the
two
third
freaking.
gen
You bought like two freaking what's this?
A-list
what's this
passes.
thing? No, yeah. The A-list pass. He's all. It's worth it.
We were having this discussion this week. I was like, dude, you're gonna watch 2 movies this week. You might as well get the A-list.
Might as well get it, dude. I trust me. I've talked to my wife. I talked to wife about it, and we should we keep it going and we just decided not to. Like we're like it's like we don't go enough. But I guess like if you're paying for it, you're like that's the thing. When I ended up getting A-list and I got it for my as a birthday gift, it was like for 6 months or whatever, right? And having it, I felt comfortable going to any movie or whatever. But after the fact, I was like, well, I'm not paying for it, so I didn't have to pay for it. So I really don't have to. Yeah, McFly
He's
is
telling you
A-list.
get the pass.
No, and then it's because now I don't have now I'm not an A-lister. Now I'm a D-lister. No, but like, but I not having paid for it, I think made me feel more comfortable not going to a lot of the movies. But I was telling my wife, like, if we pay for it, we'd feel more likely to want to do it, right? Because we're already paying for it. I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know. It's a whole.
It's true. I mean, are you going to watch Godzilla X Kong, or are you going to watch, Quiet Place Day 1? Or are you going to, Roadhouse, Monkey Man, Kung Fu Panda? These are all coming out in March, bro. Ghostbusters, Frozen Kingdom. If you're going to watch 2 movies, it's worth it, I think.
You just want me to get it so I can go to the movies with you.
Yeah, I want you to go more.
You just want me to go see Bummer. I honestly, I want to. I kind of want to get it, but I want to do the 3-month pass. Like, you know how you can pay in
3 months
get a
increments
gift,
or something?
do it and just leave it like that. I just don't want to keep paying it where it comes out of my card. I just kind of want to have it paid once.
Right. So it's
So
not
I'll look into it because I know there's a lot of movies that are going to come out that I definitely want to check out. And again, if I get it, I want to be able to go see movies by myself. Like sometimes my wife's at work and I'm here bored in the house and I'm in the house bored in the house and I'm in the house. It's like, so I kind of I'm just like, man, I kind of want to, I would have loved to have gone to see Downton Abbey, dude, New Generation or whatever. And I missed out. And that's a once in a lifetime experience.
Dude, we might just have to sneak you in the back, dude. We could do that. Remember the old school days you'd buy the ticket and then the guy would go around to the back and let everybody in.
Dude, that was wild, dude. But now they because it's all back then when that was going on. Well, yeah, but back at that time there wasn't reserved seatings. You would sit wherever you pleased, right? So now,
when's the last time somebody went around and been like, "What's your seat number?"
Oh yeah, we've had it. Well, I've had it once or twice, but people.
I guess it premieres.
Is this T17? And I'm like, this is
get out of
here. 17. Get out of my face. One time me and my wife had gone. We went to the wrong theater, number auditorium, and we sat in someone's seat, and they're like, "Oh, I think you're in our seats." I'm so sorry. What movie is this? And they're like, this is this. And I'm like, oh, we're in the wrong one, run. And we got up and we freaking ran to the next whatever. And we had just missed the beginning of something. I forget what movie it was. Man, whatever. I'll have to ask the wife. See if she
I think when we watched Madam Web, there was so many trailers and stuff. My wife was like, Wait, what movie are we watching? Like, she didn't even know. She just was like, we're just going to the movies. It's movie day.
So why are
like,
we here?
Yeah, she's like, why
So
are we
did
here?
come?
What's going on?
No, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you just sit down and you're just like ready for the movie and you don't even know. You're like, what are we doing? But yeah, dude, I definitely think there's a good amount of movies coming out. I was gonna say we should talk about the one that dropped this week, which if I may share the screen, let's see if I can do this. I apologize, I kicked it out. There, this one, dude. We should talk about the Borderlands. So, dude, the trailer for Borderlands came out, and what were your thoughts, bro? We have a quite eclectic cast going on. And you played the games, right? You played all the Borderlands games? Oh, you're muted, bro. I think you played. I think. You played at least
I was all
one or
talking to
two.
myself, dude. I don't know if you saw like my face.
I did.
You
I
guys
kind
can
of
go
let
back
it go.
and watch that clip. I was like going like like saying something. I have played all the games, or not all the games. Actually, well, I played them all, but I didn't beat one of them, which was Borderlands 3. It was one of the. Was it? Yeah, one of the newer ones. And actually, there's two new ones. There's Tiny Tina's Wonderland or something like that, but I didn't get to beat that one either.
Oh, really?
So I played most of them, but they're great games and they're a fun little story, and the writing for the characters are pretty cool, and they're very comedic, and the trailer was really freaking neat. Like I'm excited to watch it. I kind of want to see like what they're gonna do, but just like the only thing is like Kevin Hart kind of doesn't seem to fit for me. Now I might be wrong. I don't know. You let me know what you think. I don't know if you ever played the Borderlands games. Did you ever play those?
My boss actually used to play a lot with his daughter, and he would rave about it. It's like, dude, have you played Borderlands? You should play. I was like, okay, maybe. I didn't have a PlayStation at the time, but now, I can play if I ever get some free time. I still want to play. I hear they're really fun. They're like great like story, right? Like you could just sit down and play through the whole thing.
Yeah, dude.
Kind of like
the
Uncharted.
first one's really good. I think the second one's probably a lot better. You get a really cool character named Handsome Jack comes out, and it's a lot of fun. But this.
Oh, so could you tell from watching the trailer that this was going to be based on just the first game, or is it nothing to do with the games at all? It's a different story.
Man.
Or you think it might be? It's been a while, yeah.
It's been a while since I've played the games. But man, I feel like if I say something, it might spoil.
Oh, okay.
But so I won't say something, but there's just something that happens, and again, I don't know, it's just kind of hard because I don't want to spoil anything just in case someone wants to play that game. But I don't know. I don't remember the first one all that well. But I don't think so. I think it's probably its own thing. I feel like it should be its own thing. Like I don't think
it seems
should. It's
to be
probably
honest,
going to be
me,
like a prequel to like one of the games.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I haven't played the game, so I'm coming in as a newbie, and to me this felt like basically a, what do they call it? Like the discount store Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Like it has that vibe.
The Walmart
right?
version.
Yeah, or my wife calls it something like the something store, the knockoff store. Like
Dollar
when it's like
Tree.
when it's like the dollar store of Chris Hemsworth or something, right? Like they say that, but I forget what. There's a certain way.
I know there's a word for it.
So Kevin Hart's playing Roland, I believe, right? He's Roland and Cate Blanchett is Lilith, and then Ariana Greenblatt is the Tiny Tina, right? She's the one with the little bunny ears. And then who's this guy? Is this guy always masked? Like, does he never?
He's a psycho.
He's a psycho. Is that what's his name? Krieg?
I don't know what his name is in the movie.
Because I know the robot's name is Claptrap, right?
Yeah, that is correct. And that's going to be Jack Black, right?
Jack Black. What do you think of that? A lot of people had a reaction of like Jack Black, like not fitting. But you played the game, so were you like fine with it, or were you like that's not Claptrap?
I mean, I thought it was all right. I mean, it's Jack Black being Jack Black. You know what I mean? Like, really, what else could he do? But yeah, it won't top. I don't think it's gonna top the original Claptrap, the original voice actor. But again, he had a range of like that particular character. It was really sweet. I think there was actually some sort of like something happened between the voice actor and some of the games where they didn't want to pay him more or something. I forget what it was, but something crazy like that. But I mean, he sounds all right. I mean, we won't know until we watch the film. I mean, from the trailer, it kind of sounds like he's just being
He's just being Jack Black,
Jack
right?
Black. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt's gonna be Chris Pratt. You know what I mean? Like
McGuire says I F with Jack Black. He's down for it.
I like Jack Black too, man. I mean, it doesn't bother me.
I mean, he's been crushing it. You know, he was in the Mario movie. He's been doing great. Like I think he really loves voice acting work, but he's such a physical actor. Like he's such a physical presence. Like we saw that thing with Will Ferrell, right? And he comes out. He was like doing a cameo on in the concert or whatever, and he just takes over the whole stage. Like he just has this presence with him. He had like a big old like robe or like cape, and he's just like singing along, and he does that little like shaking about. I can't do it right, but
I love that kick. I don't know if you ever seen a Community when he comes out, and he's like, I love that kick he does. Yeah, he comes
I forgot about that. Yeah.
His name's like Buddy. I think he's trying to be part of the Greendale Six or whatever. And he just randomly tries to join them, but the way they work it into the script is really stupid funny.
That's awesome. Do you think Cate Blanchett can pull off Lilith? Because she's what, in her upper 50s now, right?
Dude, she looks young. She looks pretty good for her age. Yeah.
She's running and jumping and explosions and stuff. And I mean, Kevin Hart's being Kevin Hart, right? Like he's just doing his thing. So I'm like, whatever. Like he'll be Kevin Hart. Maybe it'll work. I haven't seen him have a whole lot of range. Like I haven't seen him do like he needs to go through his like Adam Sandler renaissance, right? Where he does like
I think he tried, right? With that Bryan Cranston movie.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But it just wasn't like
people are like, nah, you go back to the jokes, funny man.
Yeah. Make me laugh, clown. Remember in Wedding Crashers? The freaking
Oh yeah.
Or, he's all entertain me. I forget what the guy says. But Cate Blanchett is awesome. I like her as an actor. I think she's like I would have liked her to come back as what is it, Helena and Thor Ragnarok?
Oh, Helena. Yeah,
Helena,
Ragnarok.
thank you.
Yeah.
I think she would have been awesome to come back. Like they shouldn't have killed her off. I feel like it was a waste to have had her lost in the universe. But I mean, they could always bring her back.
Nobody ever dies in the MCU anymore, right? She could come back. But I mean, I agree. I like not knowing the game. Like I thought she did a good job. She looks the part. I know she's supposed to be like super young in the games, right? But this is a different feel, dude. Producers, this is what makes me think it's gonna be like very Guardians, right? Because it's the producers of Uncharted. Dude, the second Uncharted script is finished. I heard from from Mark Wahlberg, right? He was saying like it might come sooner than we think.
That'd be kind of cool. I mean, I liked the movie. I really liked it.
Do you want to see a sequel though?
I do, yeah.
Uncharted?
I want to see what they do because I think the next phase of the characters is probably the better phase. Like it's like where it's a lot more fun.
Like according to the games.
Yeah, and according to the game, well, because in the games when we play, we already know Sully and Nathan Drake, and they have a chemistry when they're together. And in this movie, you don't have that chemistry right away because they're barely getting to know each other. You know what I mean?
Right. It's at that introduction. So now that they're already established, it's gonna be a lot
better for like, because they can do a lot of like really cool little stories. Like in the game, or in particular this one called Golden Abyss, which is like a PSP Vita game or PS Vita game. He always go, well, kid, let me tell you a story about this girl I met. And he's telling you, you're like just on a boat, like freaking rowing or whatever. And he tells you a story, and it's like this camaraderie between them, right? And it works. Like it's like father and son sort of thing. But
that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. But again, I don't know if they can pull it off.
I love that they told him. He says that the studio told him to like start growing your mustache, and he's like, it's gonna take a while because he doesn't have. I guess he like grows his mustache really slow. He says I can't grow a real beard and mustache, but they said start growing your mustache. It's gonna take a while, but I'm interested to see what the story's like and where the adventure takes us. I think I know why they cast Tom Holland like to because he was younger, so he can kind of age into the role. I think by like the third one, if we get like a salt and pepper Mark Wahlberg dude, I think it's gonna be sweet.
That's what I'm saying. I think they might be able to pull it off probably in the second one if like Tom Holland looks a lot older. Because I mean, Tom Holland's getting old. That's
true.
Weird, but he's getting older.
I don't know why I thought he was out. I thought he was done. I thought he was like taking a break from Hollywood. Am I wrong? I thought Tom Holland was like.
Isn't he doing that Romeo and Juliet thing?
Is he still doing that? Maybe.
Yeah, it's like he's doing like a Romeo and Juliet. I don't know if it's like play or something.
I thought he was just like, get me out of Hollywood. It's funny. Every time I type in IMDb, it defaults to Soul for some reason. I don't know why.
What's Soul?
Soul with Jamie Foxx. You know that Pixar movie? So I'll never forget I'll never forget Soul. What happened to Jamie Foxx? He was supposed to be a clone now. Is this true?
I heard about that too. Yeah, so he's supposed to be in a.
I still haven't seen him.
I don't even know. Yeah, so I looked it up right here. It says, after hours of queuing, Tom Holland's new West End production of William Shakespeare Romeo and Juliet totally sold out within 2 hours.
Oh, that's right. He's doing Broadway now.
So it's Broadway, yeah. So it's a Broadway thing. It's supposed to be.
Oh wait, he's not
Duke of York's theater. So
he's not scheduled to do. It's not in the upcoming. It's not in like pre-production. What if they swap him out? What if Tom Holland is not the next? What's his name in Uncharted?
Nathan Drake.
Nathan Drake. Yeah. What if he's not the next Nathan Drake?
I don't.
Who would you cast? You think they'd have to?
No, I don't think they can. I don't think they would. I think it works really well for him to be there because would
it be like a Witcher situation name? Where it's like Henry Cavill or no one?
Say that, dude. I don't know. I feel like it just him being a household name would it just. I think that's why they would keep Tom Holland to keep going. But also, like, I think he liked doing the movie, if I'm not mistaken. It's different from other stuff that he's done, right?
Yeah, it's true. But I think he said he didn't like what it did to him because there was so much pressure.
Well, I think the thing that he said he didn't like was that he was trying to be too cool for school or something like that.
It didn't feel genuine to him.
Yeah, but because again, he was trying to be something he wasn't. I think again, maybe now going forward, he's going to be able to like work into the character. But
I think they might recast him.
I also want to say this because I was hearing about this recently, where it's one of the next articles that we're talking about, but it's about Marvel Studios and how they're trying to reevaluate what Marvel Studios is all about, right? And one of the things that was going around was like, who's going to lead the Marvel universe in the next phase or whatever. So like, we had Robert Downey Jr., Captain America were like the big heads of Marvel for a while, and they're looking for the next person to do that. And I was like, dude, Spider-Man, right? Wouldn't he be the one to like, cause he's a big name, like, but I don't know, he's still a kid, right, in the movie?
I mean, yeah. Is this what you're talking about? Where they're talking about shifting around the dates and stuff? Phase 5 and Phase 4 and other delays?
No. This is a different thing. This is just like something that we were talking about because like there was like a recent like there was like some of the stuff was recently really positive, like Deadpool and Wolverine and like the X-Men 97 trailers. Like they were really well received. But, obviously the Miss Marvels and all those movies didn't do as well throughout like the last 2 years of Marvel. So I think they're trying to readdress what the Marvel studio is kind of going forward. So they're using I think Kevin Feige is trying to refine the strategy to change the long-term plan. I don't know if you read about this.
Maybe it's this part where it says Marvel's box office flops marks the end of the era for the studio's winning formula and the beginning of a new one for Hollywood workers. I mean, they definitely have to do something, right? Because I think Marvel and Disney now know that people are just not showing up just for the continuity, right? Like people have gotten kind of burnt out on the quality because they're like, well, do I need to see this? Do I care? There's no big baddie to follow. Like there's no, now that we don't have a Kang, like what's gonna happen? Yeah, we might be able to reconnect with Deadpool 3, but then we have like a couple other random ones coming out after that. It's like what's the hook, right? What's keeping us coming back for more? Because they've kind of burned us out. I mean, yeah. What are your thoughts? Do you think they should change up the formula?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not doing really well. But then, like, it's funny because you get a lot of people claiming that they love what Marvel's doing right now. Like, I think you had sent me a clip of like one of the
Who?
guys, the Blu-ray Angel dude, and he's
Yeah.
like getting the box of the Miss Marvels, and he's like shaking, and he like I'm just kidding. I don't think he was shaking. I don't remember exactly, but
He was like,
just
"Thank you,
really,
Marvel. Dreams really do come true."
yeah, or
Just
whatever.
getting all
Like if
excited.
that's like the best, then it was like that movie was not that great.
No, I think
You know what I
people
mean?
can know that. Yeah, I think.
And I think people know that. I think it's just like because if we say that, it's like we hated Brie Larson because she's a woman, or they'll come up with an excuse because the movie wasn't good. And I'm like, stop making excuses for these companies. Like they don't need your help. They make money. You know what I mean? Like they should definitely slow down, which sucks, because I like Disney, but they definitely need to slow down, lessen the volume of content that they're trying to give us. I get that they're trying to keep Disney Plus, the streaming service, alive, and that's why we get such a high volume of content. But at the end of the day, is it quality over quantity? And we rather want quality, and I think that's going to prove in the long term plan because if they give us a quality thing, we're gonna keep rewatching and being like, I'll put it to you like this: like, I love my Disney Plus. Like, we watch Zootopia, Princess and the Frog, uh, man, Cinderella, Mulan, Aladdin. Those classic movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, oh, it's nostalgia or whatever. It's nostalgia, but it's great content, and that's what's keeping me on the service. I haven't watched any of the other new stuff that's out there because it doesn't look appealing to me. But again, maybe it's not for me. But also, I'm voting with my wallet, and I'm saying like I'm keeping your service because you have all this great content already. And had they only had the newer content that they had, I would have been like, dude, I don't need this. Same reason I stopped paying for Netflix. I'm like, I'm not paying for Netflix because like some of these things I don't really care about. Like I know the Avatar show, which we're going to talk about. I think you wanted to ask me about it, but I haven't watched it. The Avatar
The
show's
last
out.
Airbender, not
The
the
last
blue
Airbender.
aliens.
Oh no, not the blue aliens, not the blue. That just came out, and I want to watch it. Like I definitely want to check it out, but when will I have time? I don't know, and I'm gonna have to get my Netflix again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean Bob Iger's come out and said like quality over quantity. Now we're gonna start reeling in. We're not gonna do so many projects, and we're gonna focus on quality. And then we get into the weeds of like, do we want like the way Disney's going, right? Because we know that a lot of times they pick certain people just to check the boxes, and how 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 are we going to get to a point where it's no longer about meeting the requirements, but it's like telling a good story, right? Like how do we get to that place where it doesn't matter so much the color of your skin, but it's more about the
Quality of your
who's
work,
got the passion, right? Who's got what were you gonna say?
the quality of work rather
The
than.
quality of your content. Yeah.
I mean, I think. Man, you always say this, but I always forget how you say it. Oh gosh, you're talking about. I think you always. It's not when you talk about the culture of of movies, right? And I think I forget how you said this before, but I think the culture of movies will dictate what changes need to happen. Because essentially, yeah, they can do all these things and be like, oh, we need to be inclusive, we need to do this and all that stuff. But if the numbers show that this is not what people want, they're going to eventually have to go back. Right now, they're deep into it. They already have a plan. They already have like money going to this and this and this. Once that ends and they're, like the Kevin Feige, right? They're reassessing what they need to give fans. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because obviously we keep the lights on.
Yeah.
Without us, they cease to exist, right? That's
And
why
it's
we
not
say vote, like we vote with our wallet, but like that's what it would be. We would dictate. So what, like Miss Marvel didn't do well. Okay, now they have it written down. Dang, we shouldn't be doing this.
right.
This is on here. Okay, well, let's not do this. You know what I mean? But then again, then you start getting like well, with the oh, sorry, I'm sorry, I should let you go on, Jace, but please don't forget what you're gonna say. But like the Snow White, they're
Yeah, yeah.
rewriting that. They're redoing it because of what the fans are saying. Like,
Hopefully, yeah.
what else is the other thing that? Well, I mean, this is kind of a little odd, but obviously they're gonna redo the Disney movies. I mean, the Star Wars movies with the Rey Palpatine becoming the head of the Jedi Order, and she is gonna take the mantle, right? And they hired this documentary lady who's never filmed anything other than documentaries and is really, I don't know, political in her own sense of things. And it's like, that's where
I
you're going to
enjoy
lose
making
people.
men feel uncomfortable, she said.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, man, like, am I going to go watch this movie and be like, I'm uncomfortable? You know, like, that just doesn't sound appealing to me. That's
Yeah, it's,
that's like,
Charmin Obey-Chinoy is the director.
I want, like, again, I really don't care. Like, vote with your wallet. If you want to watch this, don't watch it. This dude put Ray Palpatine director. That's awesome, and I'm so glad that.
No, but
came
you know
out.
what? You know what though? Like when
I'm so glad that came out. That is so great.
when
Go
when
ahead.
Ernie says vote with your wallet, the other thing I was thinking is also vote with the movies that you love. Go buy them like to own, right? That's a
Yeah,
really big signal, right? Like I
definitely.
know Ernie, like you have like a whole list of things that you've bought over the years, right? Like you have
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
DVDs and then you have like the Blu-rays, and the Blu-rays come with codes for the
Mhm.
digital, and so like I think that's a great way to do it, right? Because that's definitely a signal to say like go, do more of these, right? Hey,
Yeah,
look at that.
but that's the thing is like, you know, I mean, man, that's a great thing to do, but like it's scary because
What's your take on X-Men
X-Men
97?
97. Well, I'll
Dude,
get into that right now, but I want to say this. That's the
go
thing
ahead,
about
man.
owning physical media or digital media is that it can go away at any moment. I had I bought, I think I was telling you this maybe in the podcast, I don't remember, but I had bought the season of Cowboy Bebop. It's like the anime, and I had it in Funimation. And when Funimation had gotten acquired, well, I mean they had already been by it, but they basically became part of Crunchyroll. I lost that movie that I bought. But the only reason that I was able to keep it was because I had used Movies Anywhere and it went to my Apple TV, to my other stuff. So I was still able to keep my digital content. Had I not, I would have lost, you know what I mean, my freaking show that I bought. I don't know. That's the only bad thing. That's the downside of digital content. But he
Yeah,
said,
it's true. They can take it down. That's honestly why my wife, when we first got, I think I put it on my Christmas list, was like, I want the Lord of the Rings, like the high quality Blu-rays, because I only had the DVDs. She's like, why? You already have the DVDs. I'm like, no, I need the physical media, right? Like I need that quality, because you don't know, they could just take it down one day, and like I love those movies. But yeah, Chiefs AAA says, what's your take on X-Men 97 series Disney Plus? Dude, before you get into it, Ernie, because I know you want to get into this, uh, the old one has a style for me that feels so 90s. And I don't know. Like, if you look at this, if you like watch the show, like the old show for a while, and then you switch to the 97 trailer, it feels disjointed, right? It doesn't feel the same. It feels like a Zen 97. But yeah, get into your thoughts, Ernie. I know you have a lot of thoughts on this one.
I agree with you. I think the style. I mean, we talked about this before, but the style for the original is a little different, right? And I think again, it's the time, right? Everything is digital, so they're doing it digital. So they're trying to make this cartoon look the way that the original did with the new added
with the new technology. Yeah,
with the new technology. And don't get me wrong, it looks cool. Like, I think it looks really neat. I'm curious to see how it, is handled in terms of the story. If they like change anything or make it like dumb, because I forget. I've watched that cartoon like years ago when I was younger. I don't remember everything. I do remember that Xavier dies. I remember like that beginning of it, but I don't remember like being like, I don't know what's next. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's a new team, right? It isn't. I mean, it's
right.
not
It's
the
like
new
life
team, but
without Xavier now, and he was the glue that kind of held the team together.
He was the brain of the organization. You know what I mean? And so
yeah.
it looks
kind
cool
of
to me. Like, I definitely want to check it out. Like, I like having the option of still having the original. Just kind of like, I mean, we talk about this all the time. It's like, if this is really bad, I still have the original. I talk about this with The Matrix. We talk about The Matrix 4. You guys know most of you guys know my take on that. I watched that movie 4 times, right? 4 times. Yeah, 3 times, something like that. I think it was 4. I watched it 4 different times to try to see if I would love anything about it, and I really hated everything. I still don't like that movie. Like, I don't. Like, it ruins everything that the other 3 did. Like, it does.
It does.
It really does. And I apologize if you guys love it. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. I've literally watched this trying to find something great, and I couldn't. I was just like, man, I can't believe they did this. Like, they are like ruining not just this character, but the story of what the Matrix was. And I know people are like, well, it's the original content creator, and this is what it was all about. It was supposed to be this big, this. I'm like, I doubt it. I highly doubt it. When you go watch the originals, there's just so much more love put into it that you don't get in the new one. You could really tell that. But I don't know. Maybe, but I digress. I feel like maybe I'm wrong, and you guys are like, man, Keanu Reeves in his 60s or whatever he's at now is so awesome in that movie. Him fighting the Merovingi while he's a bum.
Dude, Keanu Reeves, he's become such a beloved. I don't know, man. Keanu Reeves, how do you, Keanu? Dude, did you hear what happened today, or was it this week over the People's Choice Awards?
What happened?
Keanu, bro. Let me see if I have the link, dude. I just want to talk about this.
What is it? Poor Choice Awards? What is it called?
Poor Choice Awards?
Poor Choice Awards, or is it People's Choice Awards?
People's Choice Awards. Oh. Poor choice of words. So, the way I told the story to my wife, like, obviously this spoils it, but imagine you have John Wick 4, right?
Oh my gosh, Reeves. I do know about this, dude, but please.
Best action hero of the of the year? Best action movie star award for the year.
Gosh, this
right?
Is like,
you have Jason Momoa for Aquaman, right? Aquaman's got a lot of high quality action in it. You have Tom Cruise in the latest Mission Impossible, dude. He's on the motorcycle. He's jumping off the cliff, bro. He's doing all kinds of these crazy physical stunts. He's fighting on trains, just like the original Mission Impossible. You got who is it? John Wick 4, which is arguably one of like the best action movies we've gotten in like years, dude. That movie, super awesome movie. And there was like a couple others, right? And guess who won, bro? Guess who won?
Well, Rachel Zegler, but I want to say this, my friend, and I haven't seen Bird's Choice Awards or whatever the movie's called. What is it called? Ballad of the
Bird's Choice, Hunger Games, Ballads of the Songbirds and Snakes.
That movie, I haven't seen it, and I don't know if I'll watch it, but I want to, but not anytime soon. But
my wife likes it. I enjoyed the movie. We went and both watched it.
Does she do a lot of action or something?
No. She runs a little bit. She
jumps.
She runs and jumps a little bit. She plays a lot of guitar. not what I think. Like, especially when you put him up against Keanu Reeves and Tom Cruise, who's arguably this decade's action hero, right? Like, he is the action hero. Like, he should always win the award.
You know what this sounds like?
What
To
does it sound
me,
like?
here, watch, listen to this. It sounds like they looked at Keanu Reeves and they looked at Tom Cruise, and they're like, we're gonna do this to them, and they went like this, and then they spit at Keanu, and then it ricocheted to Tom Cruise. they just
And it
they
went like,
just spit him.
that sounds like a freaking
Spit on him.
Seinfeld episode, no? Like
Uh,
there was
Oh yeah.
a
The
second
spit-
spitter.
Yeah, there was a second spitter.
Oh, I lost it. I don't know where Rachel Zegler is anymore. But dude, I cannot believe that she won. Like, it's such a slap in the face. I think. I feel like. Don't get me wrong. I loved the. Oh, here it is. I loved the movie. Like, I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a great like telling of how they built that world and like how Pan Am came to be. And she did a good job. I will admit she did a good job in the movie alongside that blonde guy that looked like Eminem. I forget his name. I don't know if he got nominated as too. What? Face blue, white eyes. Face blue, white eyes. I don't know. What she means or he means by that. But dude, Rachel Zegler surprise win for the People's Choice Awards highlights influence and fan voting in determining winners. So you can't. I think the one thing that you have to remember is you can't really take it too seriously because it's all fan voted, right? And if you think about that audience, like Keanu Reeves is our like it's for our generation, right? The John Wick movies, Mission Impossible.
It just isn't for us. It just isn't for us.
Just isn't for us.
Who says that?
I think
who says that?
Friend of the cast says this.
Who says that?
I'm voting with your wallets, but the thing I wanted to get into before we moved on, because I didn't really have a chance to talk about, like we were talking about how Disney is, very into this certain formula of like checking boxes and trying to get, certain things across the threshold, and like it's having a toll, right? And
give him a chance to say what he wants to say.
Give him a chance.
Give him a chance.
I wanted to bring this up though, because if you're always having to hire, diversity, equality, and inclusion. And I want to take a step back because a lot of like my wife was like, why is that a bad thing? Right? Like what's bad about always having diversity and equality and inclusion? It's not, right? What we define as diversity and inclusion like is not a bad thing, but the way they're taking it, it is the only thing, right? It's the only thing that matters when they're making these movies now. And that's why it's bad when we're talking about it in terms of the quality of our content, right? Because it doesn't matter if this person is a seasoned screenwriter or if this person is an Academy Award winning director, right? It just matters that this movie has this certain amount of boxes checked. And you saw that in Madam Web. There was no DEI necessarily in Madam Web, but like the quality, like I think we've seen like all across the board, like the quality is not there. And I feel like what's happening is people that don't fit that demographic are struggling, right? And we see this in this article with Deadline. Hollywood contractions. Actors are struggling to find jobs as TV casting dries up, right? Because they're only looking at certain characteristics. And I think like this is an important thing to note. So most of these college-bound aspiring actors from the high school class of 2020 received their acceptance letters in the first days of the pandemic. Early studies and stage training were disrupted by COVID, with many classes moving online. 4 years later, the class is graduating from college, facing even bigger challenges: a contracted TV marketplace post-strike. They say it's so effing hard out there. There's so little work. It's a brutal time in the business, and there's no jobs. So we got the writer's strike, we got COVID, and then also we have this needing to fill these quotas, and people are just not being able to find jobs, right? Like unless you fit this certain role. I don't know, dude. Like I feel like this is gonna become an ongoing thing, and I just wanted to call it out that I think what's going to happen is there's probably going to be more strikes. I think that's going to be the result of it. But what are your thoughts, bro? I know I kind of went all over the place.
Now, are they not being hired because they're not being typecasted or whatever? Is that why they're not being hired, or they're not being hired because they are that? I didn't catch that because I didn't read this article.
Well, so the article doesn't specifically go into the specifics, right? But
Mm.
I mean, I'll kind of say what I think
Yeah, please.
is. So imagine you have a Disney who their quotas have to be like, you have to be, uh, you know, of some sort of ethnic background, right? You have to have some sort of disability. You have to have some sort of, you know, you can't be a straight person, right? Like we're much rather go after somebody that has a diverse background of something, right? And so if you're just a plain old, you know, pale person with like a straight, you know, sensibility, like there's no work. Like there's going to be less and less work, right? Like what's going to happen to all these actors that, you know, they don't fit in that role, they don't fit in that mold. Like nobody's going to, like it's just going off of that checklist. And a lot of Hollywood is white, like a lot of Hollywood. Like I know it's not all about race, but like not everyone has disabilities, not everyone has a different sexual background, right? And it's so weird to me that we're focusing so heavily on that and not focusing on the quality of their, you know, like it used to be back in the day where you had to start from the ground up, do a couple really good projects, right? Get a couple projects under your belt, and then people be like, "Oh man, I heard about this person. He did a really good job on this and this," or "Oh, she did a really good job on this movie," and like let's have her audition. And that was the way it used to be. It was based on merit, based on your skill, right? And now it's like we just need to have this type of person for this type of role, and we'll just pull up the search and we'll just find, you know, that person, and like it completely bypasses any sort of skill. And I think that's my understanding. I think it has a lot of factors. It has a lot to do with not as many people are not as much content is being put out, right? Bob Iger says we're going to scale back. We're not going to have as many projects for Marvel, and you know we're only getting like one Star Wars show with the Acolyte coming out this year. So I mean, I feel like Netflix is still cranking out content, but I think they're being a little more cautious, right? They're going overseas and pulling shows overseas. Like a lot of stuff is being like dubbed, and like I know anime, right? Anime is huge right now, but that's my thinking, bro. Like I just feel like without the articles explicitly saying it, that's what it feels like to me. But yeah, what do you think?
That's interesting. I was not aware of this. I mean, I don't have much to say because I feel like, you know, you said your piece and I kind of, you know, I feel like
Move along.
no. I just feel like, you know, there's not much I can contribute because I don't know really what's, you know, what the long term game is. I feel like the strikes had such a big effect on Hollywood that this is the consequences of that. And again, like we don't know all the variables that go into getting into shows because like you said, yeah, you can get typecasted. You're like, we're looking for a person with only one arm and like they're brown, or you know, they could definitely do that. But at the end of the day, it's like what we've talked about it, like what I've talked stated before is like if they do that, will it cause a rift in the Hollywood circle? Like, will it be like, okay, well now we're not getting people that look like this. We're getting people that are, you know, look like this particular person, like Echo, right? You know, she has disabilities, like she can't hear. She can't hear. She has one leg, right? Or whatever, and she's a Native American or whatever, but not everyone fits that criteria. You know what I mean? I guess they're trying to be they're trying to be inclusive of people who really it's not the majority of people, and I think that's gonna show when things are coming out. I don't know if they still. I haven't checked, man. I really want to look into this, but I want to see how well Echo did, like how well it's streaming, like if it's making actually its money. But there's no way of seeing that, right?
Oh no, I
Not
think
yet.
it didn't show up on the Nielsen charts as very high at all. I mean, like, I could look it
See,
up.
that's the thing. It's like
Echo.
people are voting with their wallet. They don't care about that stuff. It's like people don't want to see. From what I've noticed, like people don't want to see a disability. Like I mean, Daredevil has a disability of being blind, but it's more not the disability of him being blind, but the characterization of that character. Like, yeah, he's blind, but he works around that. He's fine, but he's also really a bad friend. He loves too hard, but he also has like a dark secret. Like, like the story behind the character is what's more intriguing than, oh, here's this person and look what they have. Let me just like them. Like, that's not how it works. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
because
they want you to like Echo because she has that disability. She has this and this and this. She's a bad person. She's killed multiple people. You know what I mean?
And she didn't have to struggle, right? Like there was no personal struggle that she had to go through, right? She was the same person at the beginning and the end of the show.
Yeah, it's like she doesn't. There is no character growth, and it's like at the end she tells that guy, Kingpin, she's like, there needs to be a queen pin or whatever with her hands, and I'm like, there shouldn't be anything.
She hasn't proved it to the audience.
No,
right?
not even just that, but like a queen pin or a king pin, that shouldn't be a thing.
Oh, you're just saying
there
shouldn't be a pin in general.
There shouldn't be a pin.
Yeah.
Right? Like the whole point is you want her to be a redeemable character, and she isn't. You know what I mean?
Well,
but again, but that's
even if that was her goal, right? Like, say, we have anti-hero movies and we have like that. People have done it really well, right? But the fact that she basically all she had to do was, it was just like Rey, right? Rey didn't have to go through a personal struggle. She just was instantly a fantastic Jedi with no training. Like, she just had all the power within her and she just unlocked it, right? The same thing happened with Echo. She just unlocked her powers just by going inside. And it's like, that's a boring story. I need a hero to have an arc. I need a hero to have some sort of struggle that they go through.
I want to say this because this always baffled me, right? Okay, like Rey Palpatine doesn't have any sort of like skill really. I mean, she's trained, she's fought in the sand or whatever. I don't know how she trained, but they don't really tell you, but she's trained, right? Finn, the stormtrooper, right? Weapons training, right? Probably some sort of like hand-to-hand combat training, right? Because he's a stormtrooper for the New Order, right? He should be trained. Grabs a lightsaber, fights. He should have had an easier time fighting Kylo Ren than Rey Palpatine did in the movie, because he should know how to fight better, right? But he spends the majority of the movie yelling, "Rey! Rey!"
Yeah.
Rey!
Which he did. I mean, he did a great job screaming.
He did a great job yelling.
Yeah, I was just gonna pull it up here because it says with Echo, the week it was released, January 8th to the 14th, 5 episodes were watched, 731 million minutes, right? And then the second week, it didn't even make the cut, so it didn't even show up on the Nielsen rating. So it's like everybody watched it the first week who cared to watch it, and everybody else just like, we're done. Like, so it didn't do well. Despite what Disney will tell you, right? Disney will say like, "Oh,
yeah," because it's like the best show in the world,
the best show on Marvel." Yeah, I don't know, bro, but So, did she get picked because she was?
She doesn't even know Spanish and stuff, or like she makes it seem like she's like some sort of she's important to the cause. Have you ever seen freaking
important to the cause?
Important to the cause, the brown cause. Now, have you ever seen the Dave Chappelle skit where he's a black white supremacist, and then he's like, why don't you tell him he's an African American or whatever, and he's too important to the cause, because he's gotten such a gathering like hating on black people or any race or whatever, but because he's black, they're like, just let it happen. He'll always wear his little hood or whatever. It's really stupid funny. But
I
that's
haven't
like how
seen
they
it.
make it seem like Rachel Zegler. Oh, she's Spanish. Because she's brown. She knows Spanish. I think there was a clip of Anya Taylor-Joy who knows Spanish really well and has a Spanish-speaking
That's right.
boyfriend. You see this clip, yeah? And she goes to introduce him, and she doesn't know because she doesn't know Spanish.
Right. And she was
But she
speaking all perfect
claims like,
Spanish.
"Oh, I
Yeah.
have this in my bloodline, all this stuff," and it's funny. But it's just again, she just fits the look of it. They could sell it. It's easily sellable to be who she is. And again, I can't hate on it. I mean, if people are buying it, right? People love it. Like, I mean, either they're getting tricked into loving it, or they truly love what they're giving them. And again, I like seeing all kinds of actors. Like, I don't care what they look like, what they are, who they are, whatever. As long as they do a great job in the role, I'm sold. I'm there. You know what I mean? What was
Yeah.
the movie that won the award for the Oscars the first time we saw the Oscars? Jace, that it was like a deaf movie that Apple made. They were all deaf.
Oh, what was the one? Apple. I could just look up Apple Oscar winner. It was a good movie. I Coda. Coda was the one.
Coda. Thank you. So, Coda.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Great movie. Great freaking movie. That is literally about, I mean, obviously she's not deaf, but the family is, and like they do their whole the thing, and I was like, man, this is good. This is really good. That's how it's done. You know what I mean?
I know. If you want to tell that type of story, that's a good example, right?
That's a great example of it. But again, like they choose to do it a different way.
Well, I wanted to also play devil's advocate here because also, the only reason is not necessarily like to fill the quotas, because there could also be this to factor in, because it made me think of like the writer's strike, right? Once the strike was over and the results of it also led to like the wages going up, right? Like people had to be paid a certain amount. And so I wonder if this also has to do with it. Let me see, where's the actors? I wanted to get like a list of like, see the MOA includes increases to minimum wage and compensation, increased pension and health fund rates, and improvements to the terms and the length of employment and the size of the rating. So like yes, they're gonna have to pay the actors more, right? The result of like the strikes, where the actors and the writers are gonna have to be paid more, and so now companies are not gonna there's now a new minimum, right? Like if you want to get a TV show made, you have to have at least this overhead, so that factors into it too, right? So not only are they trying to like fit a really specific demographic, which is a smaller, like you were saying, right? The minority by definition is a smaller pool than the majority, and then you also have this whole extra added cost to factor in. So yeah, I can understand why like there's a bunch of people struggling. So it's tough times. It's going to be kind of a bleak next couple of years as like the aftermath of the strikes. I'm sorry we got on this crazy tangent, but going back to like the X-Men, right? Because X-Men, I think that animation is a place where there's a lot of play, right? Because you can draw whatever you want. Like you can fill a quota pretty easily, and you still have like
now they changed it, right? Like you can't be a white voice actor voicing a black character, right? That's like not a thing anymore. The Simpsons did it, right?
Oh,
they
really?
got rid of
You can't do Cleveland Brown anymore? Oh,
Cleveland Brown is a I think he's a black guy now. I think he's a black guy now, no? If I'm not mistaken, I think they changed it, yeah. I think
he was such a funny, No.
I don't know if they changed it. I gotta double check, but I know they changed some of the characters for some of the animated series, like to whatever they are now. But whatever.
I know they changed Morph, right? Morph is now gonna be like a asexual character and have some sort of like relationship with Wolverine or something. I don't know. There's like
they're wow, interesting. Well, asexual means that they're not,
or pansexual, or
that he's not interested
like fluid.
in
He's
sex.
like fluid.
He's like a fluid?
Not asexual, but he's like his sexuality is like fluid, right? Like he is.
Oh, I was like, what's a fluid? Like he's a fluid. I'm like
he's a morph.
What does that mean?
He's a morph.
I don't know. I don't
Um,
mean. I don't. I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, again, we've talked about this before. I mean, it's about mutants. You know what I mean?
it's
They're all
about mutants,
different.
right? It's supposed to be the
Yeah,
outcasts.
they're supposed to be all kinds of. You know what I mean? That makes sense.
I hope
But
it's
again,
good though, bro. Like I know Disney will probably do some Disney things, but I hope overall it's good because like I got that nostalgia, bro, when I watched it. I was like, I want to go back and watch the old series. And that's the thing, dude. We always have the old series to go back to. I had
yeah,
this
dude.
idea. I had
Mhm.
this idea. I was taking a walk with the dogs today, and I had this idea. It's like, what if somebody set up an experiment where they were in like this isolation of only able to consume content from the 90s, right? So like you couldn't access anything other than like the stuff we used to grow up with, right? And just do an experiment of a week or 2 weeks worth of just consuming that content and see if their like moods improve or like are we less depressed like because we consume that content. I'm really curious. Like I don't know,
Well, I
it's
mean, if
just
you're in a bubble, it's different, right? Because like I get it, the content would be different, but also like a lot of the depression and things that happen isn't from our movie content. It's from like
well,
the
right.
world, right? You know what I mean? Like, would
Well, that's what
we?
I mean. Like
Well,
you could
would you
only
be?
get
Would you be only getting movie content and also like the world news from that era of time as
right,
well?
right. You just have to like live in the 90s for like a couple weeks.
See, but that's the thing is like I
Would
feel
our
like you'd
moves
be fine
improve?
because back when we were in the '90s, I didn't know what was going across the seas. Now
Right.
I know what's going on everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like, why do I need to know that? I don't know, but I do. You know what I mean? It's just like there's all kinds of stuff going on.
So you
But
think we don't even need the experiment? You're just like, yes, we would be happier without
I
our
don't think we
without
would
our
be
phones.
happier. I just think we would be. It would be a different mindset. I mean, the
Yeah.
happiness isn't constructed by the world around you. I feel like you can create happiness. I mean,
Oh, for sure.
we all live difficult lives. Things happen. I've had a bunch of things happen to me all this week. I chose to be here and smile and look at you and be
Oh man.
cheery when I'm talking to you. I
Oh
chose
man.
that. Nobody chose that for me, right?
I gotta get this. Go ahead.
Hello.
Like,
But you know what I mean?
yeah, no, I hear you, bro. I totally agree. Like
But it
I
does. But
just
I'm not gonna lie to you. Things do. I mean, things
I
do take a turn on you, right? Like, I mean,
right.
I told you I saw the thing with that. Like I told you, I don't look at the what is it, the Gaza or whatever. What's that? The
Palestine.
Palestine. I don't see that stuff. I freaking went on Twitter and I looked it up and I saw this like terrible
Horrible,
image of
horrible.
a kid, like terrible stuff, and I'm like, fuck, I didn't want to see this.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Well, yeah. I think that my I think that was probably my point of like the thinking of that experiment was like could we go back to like could we choose to live how we lived in the 90s now, or is it like there's just no way around it, like you're so consumed with media now, like could we choose to just not like turn off certain things, or I don't know.
No, yeah, of course you can. It's like you don't need to. Yeah, of course. It's like you don't need to go on Twitter. You don't need to go on Instagram. You don't need to go on Facebook. You don't need to go on anything. You can go walk outside or read a book. It's your choice. In the
That's true,
'90s,
but
we didn't
then
have it because we didn't have it. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like
don't you feel
had
sort
we
of like
had
an
it, we would have
obligation
done it.
though, like because we have access to so much media, like don't you kind of have feel like you have an obligation to kind of stay up with it, like you like if you just kind of put like like that meme where you're just sitting in like you're like the world's on fire around you and you're just like it's fine, like
Yeah, but that's the thing is like,
could I
to
just go outside and read a book every day, or do I feel like
yeah,
I
of
would need
course you can. There's millions of books, but I mean like you're
well, yeah.
not gonna know what's going on in the world. It's like I like watching football. I told you I watched the Super Bowl, and I want to get into it this year. Is like one of my things that I really want to get into is football,
Huh.
and I don't know what's going on in football right now. You know what I mean? I don't know because I don't surround myself around the football stuff like news. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
but when I do, I'm sure there's gonna be a whole whole new world of things. It's you know what I mean? It's just like again, it really I don't know. I don't
Like
want to say you're wrong because you're not. I think it's a great thought, like having yourself shielded from the world around you. But I honestly don't think it's the 90s. I just think it's like surround yourself around things that you think are going to make you happy. You know, it's, you know, it starts up here, right? You know what I mean? Like,
no,
like
no, I agree.
you know what I mean? Like, we've talked about this, but that's why a lot of people read self-help books, but they don't do anything. Like, you could read all these self-help books, but if you don't do anything about it,
that's the point. Is like
you're never gonna. Nothing's ever gonna happen, right? Like, it's
yeah.
like a self-help book is telling you, I need to eat better and I need to go work out, but then I go to Burger King.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
that's on you. Like, it's kind of tough.
I guess it's everybody's choice, right? But I feel like if I don't stay up on, it's probably true though. It's probably a mindset, right? Like it's like if I don't stay up on the world, I feel like
The world is going to crumble around you.
or just almost like it's like we're just letting the world run rampant, and like we have no say, like
you.
we have no voice in it. Yeah.
Yeah. For a while, when I had deleted Twitter, when I was on, because obviously we all, you know, things happen, and I deleted my Twitter. I'm like, I'm not going to look up anything. I'm just going to stay out of the news. And I felt anxious because I wanted to know what was going on. Like, I wanted to know what was going on in movies and games. Like, I love that. It's like,
Right.
it's like, you know how when our, well, I don't know how you're, but my parents, when they would get the newspaper and they would read what's going on, that's like when I open Twitter, I feel like those old people. Like, I don't have a.
That's your news,
freaking,
right? Like,
that's my
your,
news.
yeah.
I'm like, I have a little coffee.
Don't
flip
lie.
the
You're
page.
on the toilet. You're on the toilet.
Of course, I'm on the toilet. No, I'm not gonna.
Oh,
lie
with
to
the
you guys.
coffee?
With the coffee. I mean,
That's awesome.
You don't drink and poop, but
That's right. You got to do it.
yeah, dude. But you know what? I think we've ranted enough. My friend Jace, as always, Jace. Oh, there it is, dude. As always.
Sorry.
I would like to thank the audience for tuning in every week when we drop an episode. We appreciate you guys coming on the stream. We appreciate you. Jace, please send us out.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us on this longer than usual episode. I appreciate you guys. If you guys stuck around to the end, you guys are the true fans, and we love you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us, throwing your questions and your comments. It's always fun. Yeah, definitely share if you love the episode. Share it around, let people know, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Ernie, thank you for joining me. And
Of course, thank you for having me, dude. I had a wonderful time talking to you, man. I feel like I can't wait to see you Saturday. Hopefully, we do something cool.
that's right. We're gonna hang out.
Yeah.
We'll see you, dude. We'll see you guys.
Go see you. Goodbye.
You like a
What?
little cheers at the end. We can have like a little cocaine. Like, clear your camera.
Oh, over here? On this way.
It's too late. It's too late.
Oh, my bad.